They just need to make it so it's a lot more instantaneous.
Fuck that up. Hold on.
Though I am interested, because with the Seven Seraphs, it was supposed to be a faction after the collapse. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how much they're actually connected to the original group that developed the war mines. If the Seraphs were the ones who developed the war mines.
I can see it.
Because I think the only thing we have on the Seven Seraphs besides like the Seraphim Toaster is like that little snippet before the game released about them being extremely deadly mercenaries and basically saying that they should take the world by force.
What?
Have you not seen that?
No, I haven't.
See if I can find it real quick.
Here we go. Sorry, I had to redo it. I fucked up. Alright. I don't care what we do. Do you guys want to look around on maps or do PoE, do missions, do whatever?
I'm up for anything.
I'm gonna give Guardian the leader. Yeah, I'll do whatever as well. I don't care.
Oh, do me a favor, can you lock the party?
Sure. You really
Appreciate
think
you.
people are gonna try to join?
What's that?
You really think people are gonna try to join?
Well, that happened last time, so. And he was a super nice guy, but I just, just didn't want it to be a whole thing.
Alright, so Anon, this is from the original Choose Your Destiny, and it had all the factions. Had Dead Orbit, Future War Cult, New Monarchy, Osiris, and Seven Seraphs. And it states, Seven Seraphs is a group of mercenaries with a singular objective of dominating the universe and destroying anything that gets in their path.
What are they all? Like, read them all, because I've never heard of these.
I don't know if I can find the other ones. I think this was like very early in the development of Destiny.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess it's so possible that was what they are. I don't know.
Hey, Sully.
God, I am exhausted.
What's that? You say you're exhausted?
Yeah. So let's do something so I don't fall asleep.
Do you want to do PvP, which equals Iron Banner, or PvE, which equals Strikes?
Let's run a Nightfall so I can get that done.
You on board for that, Sentinel?
Yeah, let me go to the tower and let me pick up the thing from, wait, hold on. I might have
yeah.
I'm
I
on
need
my,
to go to the tower too.
Yeah, I'll take us to the tower.
Cool.
And PvE will be good because then we can actually focus. Like Mayhem is too hard.
I mean,
hold a conversation.
You and I had a hard enough time when we were just in normal PvP. We were just like looking at the map and stuff. Yeah, let me go pick a thing because I still need to get my damn icebreaker.
Nightfall's nothing special this week.
It's Valis to Valis to Valis.
It's who?
Valis to Valis.
Valis to Valis.
Mm-hmm. Has this floor always been so glossy?
Yes.
Tell me about the dreadnought.
Weird.
Good to have you back. Light go with you, guys.
Excuse me.
I gotta go to the future work court really quick.
Ew.
No, I hate them, but I mean, I'm trying to get like a better. Although now I have a good one, so I guess I don't really need them anymore. But they're probably this. They probably have like the best weapons.
Yeah. Is there any elemental burn?
Nope.
No, there's no elemental burn this week, right? No.
Yeah, it's a pretty boring and straightforward Nightfall.
You want the crucible? Shax is the crucible.
Superhero.
Next is the roster for Plan 32.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy Nightfall this week.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm ready whenever now.
I'm honored, Guardian.
Alright.
We must still
Let's
face the
see.
doorway into
Future War who? Right, Sully?
Dreadnought.
What's up, Bag Dumbo?
Alright, let's get started. Promise me you'll practice. May the next crisis be
1,000-yard stare, what?
messy.
Zip. Oh, it's Crawford. What's up, buddy?
Wonderful day, Guardian. Have a nice day.
Just worry about the colors. Leave the business part to me.
Alright, Anon, are you ready?
I said I was ready, like
Sentinel, are you ready?
Yeah, buddy. Good to go, buddy. What's up, Frumper78? And if anybody donates that little link for Streamers for Children in Need, it goes to the BBC's Children in Need Fund in Britain, and I'm giving away 4 PSN cards. Announce it on Twitter tomorrow.
Whether we wanted it or not, we've stepped into a war with a cabal on Mars. So let's get to taking out their command, one by one. Valis to Arik. From what I can
no
gather, he
link.
commands the siege dancers from an Imperial land tank outside of Rubicon. He's well protected. But with the right team, we can punch through those defenses, take
Yes,
this
there
beast
is.
out and break their grip on Freehold.
It's in the
There's
chat.
no link, dude. I'm looking at the damn tweet. Oh, now there is. What the hell?
Well, I know, that's what I said earlier, so I had to redo it.
Twitter's dumb.
Your face is dumb.
To their system. See if we can track down Valis to Ark.
Alright.
Twitch is taking a damn hour to load. I got this sparrow for my treasure. Fucking tripping out.
Probably join you guys, huh? But anyways, I guess we'll kind of get going. So we're kind of gonna talk about the Traveler's Light. Anon, can you just kind of give a quick little rundown on the Traveler's Light and where it comes from and what it does, how the different classes of Guardians learn how to use it?
Really quick, Guardian, can you hear him all right? Maybe it is me.
Sentinel is a little quiet.
Am I a little quiet?
At least to me.
Is that,
I could not.
Is this a lot better? Can you hear me now?
That is, yeah. It is definitely better. I didn't hear the first half of whatever what you said.
Oh, alright. Alright, well, why don't you get us going? Can you kind of explain about the Traveler's Light, where it comes from, and how the different types of Guardians learn how to use it?
Technically, I guess in some aspects it's the Traveler's Light, but it's not the Traveler's Light at the same time, because the light is everywhere. It's in all things, you know?
Right.
It's just Guardians are different because Guardians can... When the Traveler comes to a civilization, it teaches you how to harness the light, whereas that's sort of like saying, I know how to harness a fire. I can take two sticks and rub them together, creating friction and a spark, and create a fire. Whereas a Guardian can go, I can make the fire. Like, I don't need the sticks, I am the fire.
Right.
So, that's what makes us unique. Like, the good example is the Elixni. They use the light. They're not, the light's nothing new to them. The powers and all that, that's nothing new to them. But the ability to use the powers in such a way, I guess, like, the concept of a Nova Bomb is feasible, but a Nova Bomb coming from someone is not.
Right. Awesome. Wasn't it, like, the reason Rasputin, is feared at Fellwinter and the Iron Lords is because he doesn't trust the Traveler, and basically when he sees these Guardians wielding the actual light is when he, gets on guard, correct?
I would disagree with that. I can definitely see people making an argument for it, but I would just disagree. In my opinion, he is witnessing the fall of society, and everything he was built to protect is now, like, dying, and his only, God damn it, stop missing. His only plan of action was to essentially put himself in a comatose state and try to learn as much as he could. And then probably not the first thing, but one of the first things he experiences is people with the Traveler's Light, or I guess Guardians. He's experiencing Guardians, and he doesn't see them as holy warriors fighting for humanity. He sees them as what they are, corpses, and that's probably raising red flags. And it's not like, oh, Traveler's Light, I want to destroy you. It's, what the fuck is going on? Like, more of a panic than a agenda.
I mean, like, think of, like, if you were the AI Rasputin and you go into sleep and the world is collapsing around you and you're basically facing the end of humanity, or what you believe is going to be the end of humanity, and you wake up and you have 100 some odd random dead things that carry some power with them, you're probably not going to go, hey, I wonder what you are. You're probably going to go, why are you here? And I'm going to get you out.
And well, that's like another thing that I don't like. Oh shit! They changed it. It's not angry anymore, but it's still angry to me. They don't flinch. I got that as well. Rise of Iron had some inconsistencies between the lore and the story.
Right.
Like where Grimoire cards were saying hundreds of... was it? No, that's the Grimoire cards. The story said hundreds of Guardians, hundreds of Iron Lords went to destroy Siva. That's what Saladin's telling us. Whereas the Grimoire is telling us that they went to harness Siva. So we're sort of being told two parts of the same story, but not the middle.
See, I kind of took it as they initially went in to find Siva, but when everything went wrong, that's when they're like, alright, we're just going to destroy this, because this is not a good thing to have. So there's still some middle area in there that they don't explain.
Because I would agree with that, but his not exact line, but his paraphrased exact line from my memory was, our original plan was to go in to destroy like, he makes it clear that they were going in to destroy, not going in and then we're like, oh shit, we need to destroy it. Like, they were going in with the intent of destroying.
That's true.
And there's more than just that. One of the most annoying ones is how when you're walking into the replication chamber, and I know we sort of got off topic, but when you're walking into the replication chamber, he goes, I didn't even know a Guardian could die until they did. Which sort of paints this picture that until Siva, Guardians have never died. And
as in the lore, as in Siva is like the greatest threat they've faced. So it's the first time that was even a remote possibility.
Yeah, and it's like that's really good for building up dramatic suspense and all, and like saying like, oh damn, like what is Siva? Holy crap, that's so powerful and shit like that. But it doesn't actually connect well because we have Fellwinter who killed God, what was his name? The warlord. It was C something. Cedric Diggory or whatever. Fellwinter killed him. And yeah, sure, maybe Saladin was just stupid, and Saladin didn't know that Guardians could die. That's possible, you know?
See, but because originally I kind of had the idea where I was going into the spin foil of maybe that was Fellwinter's lie, is he just didn't tell anyone that he just murdered a Guardian.
Fellwinter's lie was a shotgun.
I know, but it's like that going into what was his actual lie, because he killed a warlord, and like maybe he lied that like no one really knew that he killed someone, because it's pretty brutal. But it's very
I'm sure he
obvious
lied
that
about
the
a lot
Iron
of
Lords
things.
knew. But yeah, but I mean like it's very obvious that other Iron Lords knew he was dead, because I think they even have like the head or the helmet of the warlord.
Seagoth.
Yeah.
There you go. What?
It's something like that. Close enough. But like
no,
they have the helmet, and they just like it's got flavor text that clearly shows that other Iron Lords knew they were dead.
Yeah.
So by saying they didn't even know Guardians could die, like there's clearly stuff in the lore and the flavor text that proves that.
Well, not even just the flavor text. And Ghost Fragment, I want to say Ephrodite. No, there is not an Ephrodite. What was it? Perun, maybe? There's a card that talks about how Ephrodite is going in to fight. Like, fight a 1v1 against a warlord for their land. And in their traditional sense, they have the main fighter, and then they also have a second. And so they say, who's going to be your second? And then Ephrodite stands up saying, like, or Saladin stands up saying, like, I'll be your second. and they say, if you're my second, it's because I died, and you will not be able to keep a cool head in that scenario. So it's like very clearly the understanding that even Guardians can kill Guardians. Like there's no, oh, maybe Felwinter just didn't tell them that he did it, and he's the only, like, no, they fucking knew. But the story is painting this picture that they were completely devoid of that knowledge. And, like, that's fine. Like, I get that Rise of Iron sort of came out of nowhere. And I mean, I don't know what rumors to believe, but if we're to believe that Destiny 2 got pushed back a year and Rise of Iron came out instead, like maybe Rise of Iron was supposed to be like one of the first expansions for Destiny 2, and instead of that, they brought it up and sort of had to sort of work it in instead of having a story that would evolve, saying how the Iron Lords went in to get Rasputin and shit like that, and they learned how they could die, and then after that, there were the events where they were trying to take out the warlords, and the whole, if I blah blah blah, it's because I'm dead. Like maybe there was like a disconnect because there had to be, because like on some level they had to buy time. I don't know. I won't bother myself worrying about it. I really, especially with Age of Triumphs, Rise of Iron is my favorite expansion. So if there's a little bit of a disconnect in the story and the lore, that's fine, because I'm sure it's not just like a plain laziness or anything like that. It's just, you know, something happened.
It was nothing vital. It was just like, okay, that kind of changes what was happening, but not too much.
And maybe it's more just that we still don't know the full story. You know, maybe there is more that will be given to us that makes it us like, oh, okay, so that actually always made sense. I just didn't know better.
Awesome. So I got some lore questions from different people in the community. If you guys want to take a stab at them.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, keep in mind it is airborne right now. I forgot about that. So.
Oh, is it? This first one is from
airborne or grounded?
It's airborne. This
okay.
this first one's from my friend and yours, the one and only Mylan Games.
And, fuck that
guy. And he wants to know how you feel about pets in Destiny 2, and what are the lore implications thereof.
Pets, yes. This nonsense of the fucking hats meaning new subclasses, get the fuck out.
There's another question from one of your other favorite Guardians Down Under, from Log Power Slave from the Destiny Down Under podcast. And he wants to know, if pets are in D2, will you, Anon, prefer a possum?
No, I would not prefer an opossum.
Okay.
You're gonna want that hunter snake.
I would love a possum, because possums are adorable, but I would not want an opossum. But also, I also wouldn't really want a possum, because as adorable as it is, that's pretty much all its use would be. It would not be for anything other than.
I want an otter. Those things are vicious.
I saw a picture of a giant otter eating an alligator, and I was like, you know, I used to be afraid of alligators.
It's awesome. Let's see.
But lore implications, I mean, just really quick, lore implications, it's sort of like, you know, we have the memory of Temur. Like, there is, and really, domestication is not a foreign concept. I do think it's a little odd that we don't have any sort of pet system But I mean, we don't have any AI system, you know, like at all, so it wouldn't really work. We can't expect to have a pet system without even having a friendly AI system already.
Right.
You know,
hey, we got the Hawks in that one mission.
Yeah, but they don't actually do anything. They're literally just there to say, "Hey, you did the mission. Congratulations." Like that's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. For those who don't know, the big gray ships that fly into the tower are called Hawks. And
those are the ships of the forces of the city, correct?
Yeah. And we call them in when we're going for the Galahorn quest because there's like too many Fallen for us to fight alone or something like that. There we go. Look at that one shot. Which that is just something that I loved because we've always been built up saying like, oh yeah, we're unstoppable, we can fucking kill anything, we're awesome. And then we finally got a mission where we're like, you're gonna die, you need fucking backup. Like, we've never had that before and it was so awesome to see it. But the Hawks should be something in the game, you know, especially if it's just like in a patrol, if it's in an open area. You know, it should be something where it's like, you know, you can call in Hawk support. Like, not as a super, but maybe like as a consumable. Where it's like, you can call them in and they just come in and they might not do a lot of damage, but they'll fuck up like the ads and stuff. They'll give you a hand. Something like that, you know? Just something. But we get nothing.
You know, Solicon just brought up a good question in the chat. I think Guardian answered it, but he asked, isn't our ghost considered an AI?
I guess technically. But I mean companion AI, not tool AI, because that's all he is. He doesn't actually support us in any way.
Because he's a jerk.
Yeah, he's below Elizabeth from BioShock Infinite AI. Like at least she gave you ammo and health. You know, he's just.
I feel like she was one of the better AIs, where she actually gave you stuff.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, because like, I'm trying to think. Like, the only AIs I can think of are like Elizabeth from BioShock Infinite, and then the support robots from like Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal, where like they don't really fucking do anything. They're just there, but they'll shoot stuff. They won't actually kill anything. I mean, they will kill things eventually, but they're gonna fucking take an hour to do it.
Normally that's
so
what
they're
AI
pretty
do.
useless.
They normally just get in the way.
Yeah, they don't really help. They don't really get in the way. They're just sort of there to make it more immersive. Elizabeth was one of the better ones because she didn't really do anything, but she gave you health and ammo. And
she didn't die. That was the
she
best
didn't die.
part.
That was not having to worry about her health. I don't know. I'm trying to think of games with actual. Yeah, I mean, the more I think about it, the more I don't want it because it definitely adds like another layer of to it.
I want live animals. Like, I want to go to Venus and see like a space tiger. I want that lynx that's like hanging out.
Oh, absolutely. That definitely.
But I don't. Yeah, but I don't want like that lynx to just be hanging out with me the whole time because it will get obnoxious, and you know it will. Like, either it's gonna have to be non-existent, basically it just shows up for you, or it's gonna alert every enemy that you're there. And if you're ever trying to be stealthy, it's just gonna be completely out the window.
Yeah, give us flora, give us fauna, and give us enemies. Don't just give us enemies that are essentially just different shapes and sizes of humans. Like when you really get down to it.
Give us the moth people.
Well, the moth people are the hives, so.
Yeah.
And even moth people, like those are still just a different shape and size. Like we don't have. Frogs. Yeah, we don't have quadrupeds of any kind. We don't actually have unique shaped enemies. They're all humanoid, you know?
You're getting the hellhounds in Destiny 2.
Well, that's what I mean. Give us more of that, though. Don't give us literally one animal species and then say, "Yeah, we did it."
For sure. Oh, what's up?
That's something I would love to have. Like the worlds of Destiny just have more, and like it'd be kind of cool to have some that attack you, but just have like birds or just animals. Like Far Cry did a beautiful job with animals, where they just kind of hang out and you can kill them. You can pick them up and throw them at people and kill them with it. So like just really interactive animals that didn't feel weird, and I think Destiny could really use that.
And like a part of me understands what their thought was with this, but they've made their enemy AI just so basic, where they camp the area, they do their rounds, and like that's sort of it. Where it's like I'd rather like. I almost wish, and I feel like I'll regret it if they gave it to us, but I almost wish they would chase you. You know, like not up. I'm outside their 20-meter bubble. He's not going to do shit to me now. But like they'll actually put in a little bit of work. You know, they'll go after you for a little bit. They'll come. They won't just forget that you exist when you leave the room. You know.
Well, I feel like they should have like more intelligent systems. So if you're alone and there's like 20 of them and you start shooting, like they're gonna start working their way towards you. And then if you're like low on health, they'll start chasing you. Like kind of make it more intelligent. So it's not just like, oh, you're hanging out over here, they're all gonna rush you, but just kind of have it so it feels more intelligent.
Cool. All right, let me crank out another question here. This is from S Racer from DTP, Dad Tales Podcast. He wants to know, if Cade were human, would he put pineapple on pizza?
God fucking no.
I'd say no, because I think Cade's a stuck-up little bitch. That's just me. Oh, no, he's alright.
He just has some emotional baggage.
Oh, he's got severe emotional baggage.
Cade would never fucking wholesome bullshit like that. Like I work in a pizza place, and today some customer was like, do you guys have pineapple? Like, can you put pineapple on a pizza? And it's like yeah, we have pineapple. We also have a door, and you know you can just get the fuck out. Like,
I'm gonna give you another reason to make fun of me. I actually kind of like pineapple on pizza.
Get the fuck off.
I love it, dude. It's delicious.
It's not my first choice, but I will eat
it. My ex, like, nearing the end of our relationship, discovered pineapple on pizza. Cause she actually went to Hawaii, and then she had it there, and she came back, and she's like, I like pineapple on pizzas now.
And then she became your ex. That's fine. Alright, next one. Let's do... this is from Average Joe. Can you explain...
She fucking ruined every goddamn pizza. I was like, can we just get a plain pepperoni? She's like, get half pepperoni. No, because then the fucking pineapple juices leak over on my goddamn side.
It's just ruined your whole night.
The question that divided the community.
Right?
It did not divide the community at all. The entire community was like, yeah, fuck pineapple on pizza. And then some assholes were like, but I actually like it. And we're just like, no, well, we don't like you anymore.
It didn't divide it, it separated it.
It ostracized a very small group.
Yeah. It made the community better. Got rid of those who like it.
Yeah. Fuck it.
This next one's from Average Joe. He said, can you explain the ghost as part of the Traveler and how the Traveler being subdued affects them?
No. I can't. I do not have it until next week when I've played Destiny 2. I will not have an answer for that, because as it stands right now, what we know about the ghosts are that they are made of machinery and light, and that the future war cult seems to have been successful in repairing one, which feels a little odd. I mean, like I said, we have harnessed the physical capabilities of light, so maybe it's not too odd that we can fix a ghost if they're made with light, you know? But their direct relations with the Traveler and stuff like that, like, we don't know. Like, everyone's saying that the ghosts are dead and that we're not going to have ghosts anymore, but Bungie, like, sort of purposely has the ghosts as a way for us to be revived as a game, not only game mechanic, but story mechanic. And to take that out, I feel like it would just ruin the game, where it's like, yeah, you can still revive because it's a video game, but there's no actual reason for it anymore. Like, it would just be like, so you had 3 years of that built in as a core of the game, and then you decided to take it out. That's just, and some people say, like, try to sort of like meet in the middle and say, well, maybe we don't have our ghosts for the beginning of the game, and it's like, yeah, maybe if it's like one mission, but we're not going to get the Traveler back after the first mission, you know? Like, and if we are, I'm sorry, but that's stupid as fuck. Like, that's the big thing. That should be like the 3/4 mark of the story.
I completely agree. I don't think we will.
Oh, I missed.
I could see us losing our light, like, not necessarily losing it, but kind of it being stripped down to the very basic of what you can use it to be.
Or like temporarily suspended or something like that.
Yeah, see, I don't even see that.
That's getting into like theories where there's nothing proven of that.
Yeah, right. That's another I can't answer. Well, that's almost another I can't answer until Destiny 2, until I play it, because I can give you my impressions on it, and it's simple. We've always had the ability to lose our abilities. They're not a part of us. They aren't like a part of our, you know, consciousness. They're not something that will always be there. We went to Mercury and forged the Sunbreaker subclass. We channeled the electricity from a storm to make the Stormcaller subclass. We literally took the ability from a dead Tevis Larson to have the Night Stalker subclass. We did what is being told is going to happen for Destiny 2. We took the ability away. You know, right. So that's all. That's in my opinion, that's all the Cabal did. And if you actually go into the subclass menu, you see an orb for the Solar subclass. It's a fiery orb. For the Void subclass, it's sort of like a black hole. It's pulling in, and for the Arc, it's all electricity. If you look at any gun, it's the same thing. You have the perks on the left, you have the item on the right. Those are our abilities. When we took the Void subclass from Tevis, it looked like that purple orb. You know, like, that's what it was. We took his subclass. So if he wasn't dead, we took his subclass. And when we take it, Cade says, why don't you hold on to that for a while? Implying, not forever, might be taken from you. It's always been there. It's just we've never had it. We haven't had it yet.
Yeah, but I feel like then that comes down to how it's taken from us, and I could partially see it being none of us are really, as Guardians, we're not aware of that it can be taken away. So we're kind of at this point where we're just running around having fun with our super and our ability, and then when the Traveler is sealed, it's not necessarily. It's like our light is diminished, but it's not just that we're losing it, but it's we lose that kind of idea of we can control this power. And so, like you said, we end up losing that light.
I think those are two separate things. I think we as Guardians now have an understanding that maybe our powers aren't forever. Maybe they can be taken away. Like, maybe we have that understanding. But we also have, like, lulled ourselves into this false thinking that no other alien race can take them away. And because of that, we feel safe. So Gaul comes in and takes them away, and then on top of that, destroys the city and encases the traveler. Sort of like it's unrelated that our abilities are taken away and the traveler's encased, but he did both of them anyway.
See, but I feel like I lean more towards they are related somehow. I think it's a direct link, and it's not like we lose the Traveler's Light and therefore we lose our supers, but I kind of believe that it's more because the Traveler is exposed, because they did something to the Traveler, we end up losing our supers as some end result of that. But it's not a direct result. But I find it hard to believe that the Cabal would have the ability to just steal our light.
Just so you know what we're dealing with.
But, I mean, once again, that's all just individual theories.
Why can't I summon my Sparrow?
Because we're on the first mission on Mars.
Yeah. So, Anon, as our resident Destiny 2 reveal attendee, what's the first thing you're gonna do when you get to play D2? Assuming that you're gonna kind of get free for all.
I'm gonna look in the menus and look at the subclass immediately. Look at the abilities, see what it is. Really, Mylan actually asked that type of question. It's like, where are you gonna look in the menus? Are you gonna look at the weapons? Are you gonna do this? And I was like, I'm gonna look at the menus because that's gonna give me everything I need to know. I'm gonna look at the subclasses. I'm gonna look at the items flavor text. I'm gonna look at everything, see how items are, see how everything is, and because there's a lot of unknown going into Destiny 2 right now, and I want to know as much as I can, and I don't know how long I'm gonna get to play, and if more of my time is spent looking at what is to come and less playing, I'll be happy.
Right.
But
right.
if I'm getting put in a room with I think they couldn't have invited more than 100 people, right?
Well, I think that's that makes sense. 100, maybe 150 at the most. I mean, they did rent out a small airport.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if I'm getting put into a room and they literally have 100 consoles or PCs split up amongst those, if they have that and they say, okay, you got 8 hours, go nuts, do your thing, I'm like, oh shit, I know that's not gonna be what it is, but on any level of that, if it's you get half an hour, if you get 15 minutes, if you get 10 minutes, I'm gonna do more looking at what's to come, because I know the gameplay is gonna be awesome.
Right.
No matter what, I know the gameplay is gonna be super fun.
I mean, for someone like you, it's gonna be all about the actual story and the actual content, where they're gonna go with it, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what's important to me. Especially because, and also, guns, I am very interested in the guns. Because it looks like Amalon, it's being called the Amalon Pulse Rifle, because Amalon has never had a Pulse Rifle, but I'm sorry, that doesn't really look like a Pulse Rifle either. And I feel like it is better to assume it to be a Pulse Rifle rather than go off the deep end and say it's something entirely new. But I am sort of hoping that it's a new type of energy weapon.
I'm definitely interested to see, I hope there are new foundries. I hope it's not just, Saros, Omelon, and Hake.
I can dig into their systems and see what I can find about the gate.
But, I mean, right now we only have the fusion rifles as an energy weapon, and I'd love to see primary energy weapons. Even if it is just it's colored ammo and it's nothing really special. It's just it builds into the fantasy.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I was in my menus.
No, you're fine. Here's another question. This is from Yoda Strek. If different races in the Destiny universe, friendly and unfriendly, each had a fundraiser, what cause would each raise funds for?
I don't think I understand that question.
Yeah. I think it's like if the three different races
Find out who's in charge,
each had a fundraiser, which cause would they each pick? I'm assuming he means Exo, Human, and Awoken? Because those are the three races. I don't know if he meant races or if he meant factions.
Well, what do you mean, like, what cause would they pick? That's what I'm
I know, it's very broad.
Like, would they pick, like, veterans, or would they, like, is that what he means by cause?
Like I said, it's very broad. It could be that, or it could be, something in the actual story or something like that. Like I said, it's a broad question. I didn't get too much detail on it.
If they mean, like, I got this guy. If they mean, like, would they be raising money for, like, veterans? I don't know. I have no idea.
That is something I would have to...
I'm trying to think of, like, what Destiny charities it would be.
I feel like the Awoken would probably support the pursuit of knowledge, or like cryptography, or cryptography. Titans would probably raise funds. Would probably raise funds for, like, probably veterans, or just like something that was more of a civil need, like protecting people or providing assistance to people in the city. And then humans would probably have a fundraiser and probably raise money for exploration and colonies.
There's a lot here.
Cool. Alright.
Like,
I don't even understand what the gate is.
Oh, that's gonna bother me now.
Just thinking about it. But it's an interesting question. Something different.
It's like the reef.
Civil rights for Elixir.
Yeah,
Civil rights for Elixir.
Maybe
a Varix creates a
that's
union.
about, yeah, like the reef would they'd raise money to get Varix a new pair of arms. Like or the city would raise money to get a new city. That's pretty important, I'd imagine, to them. The Fallen probably have like a bake sale to try to like take over the city or something like that, you know?
Solicon just put in the chat, Cade would have a charity to get Cade laid.
I'm not sure he would need a charity for that.
No, probably not.
From what I've heard, he's not having the easiest time.
Another one from Average Joe. Favorite ice cream flavor? Go.
Like peanut butter kinds.
Peanut butter kinds. What about you, Guardian?
Cookie dough.
Yeah, I'm strawberry. I'm plain and boring. Let's see. This one comes from Crazy Skier. With events of the Cabal attacking, what do you think
we'll get a second chance
of the hints at Lysander and the Concordat rising again as a faction? Question, and then possibly a renewed ally or an additional front of fight?
They wouldn't be an ally. or at the very least,
not directly.
They wouldn't. Yeah, they wouldn't actually be an ally. They might be friendly, and they might like try to persuade you, but they wouldn't actually be an ally.
Right.
The Gate Lord's eye is still charged. Let's head for the gate.
How would you feel if the Concordat was a faction again?
I mean, I guess technically nothing really stopped them from being a faction in the long run.
No, that's true. I meant as a a more accessible part of the
like if you could choose to go follow Lysander and be part of the Concordat faction, I guess it would really depend on how much that really impacts the game. If it's the same thing as it is now, where it's like you're dead orbit and it doesn't really mean anything, that'd be cool. Because that's if that's all it is, well, that's all it is. It's just another place to get a different role of weapon, and that's cool. Give us more of it.
But I mean, what if you could choose the Concordat and that completely affected how the game played out?
I would not like that.
No, I wouldn't either.
I like games like that, but Destiny can't be like that.
Yeah. I mean, like even,
Infamous, love it. It works. Destiny, don't fucking do it. It's dumb.
Yeah, I feel like that works. Like that alliance type thing would work with Osiris because Osiris has established himself as like a separate entity from the city, whereas Lysander, it's connected to being a faction of the city, and so siding with him would kind of feel a little weird since rejected from the city and his faction was killed, basically.
Are going to do everything they can to keep us
right.
And like that's another thing. It's like it's not even just Lysander. There are like several.
I mean, there's the Seven Seraphs. Is the Cult of Osiris, if they're a faction.
But Trinary Starkle. They, like, of people that like aren't of the city. There are other people other places that you could fight with. I just don't think it would work. I think it would be like really just weird to be like how can you like literally unless it's a completely superficial title and it doesn't mean anything, you can't have it in the game. Because it would completely break the immersion where it's like, oh, you're one of Lysander's followers. We can't actually like raid together because you're against the city and we shouldn't. It's like that's
it would be like mix,
the two World of Warcraft sides. They don't play together, right? They're completely separated.
Yeah.
And that's almost how it would have to be.
I think it'd be interesting to have them in Destiny 2, like have a quest line where you go find them.
Yeah.
Find the remains of them, but as far as having it as an alliance that you can join, I think that would break Destiny.
Absolutely.
Right.
And like that's what I mean. Like if they can do it, they can do something like that where it's like the Concordat exists and you try to sort of like gain favor with the Concordat because they have loot and that's obviously an important part of the game. And that's all it is. Yeah, and that's all it is. You're not actually a part of the Concordat. It's just the Concordat is like, hey, if you go do these things for us, then we'll hook you up. And like if that's all it is, that's all it is, and that works. That doesn't like break anything, And they have a fine line to tread.
Of course. It's all complete speculation because the reveal hasn't even happened yet. But with the first expansion about Rasputin, how would you like to see it go? Do you think Rasputin will be helping us or he'll be our enemy? If the other war minds wake up, I mean, like, what are you thinking? What direction would you like to see them go with that first DLC?
There's something extremely dark.
Well, I mean, it's not even necessarily Rasputin. It's just a logo that we've seen associated with the Rasputin. We don't know what it actually means,
Right.
So, to assume it is entirely Rasputin, nothing else, it's just Rasputin. Me and Guardian were actually talking about this. I'm sort of bored with Rasputin.
Yeah.
I am okay with him taking a major backseat in the story because he has been a plot device in every expansion, and he's always been like this damsel in distress, and I'm just sort of bored of it.
Right.
Yeah, if he's gonna play a part in Destiny 2, I really want him to be put into an exo frame. I feel like that's really the only way that they could make it. Like they could make him interesting.
That's a very cool idea. Yeah.
I would not want that.
I feel like that's the only way you could really do it without it feeling just dumb. Because at this point, he's just an AI mind who's just hanging out in the back. You can't really have a direct, connection or interaction with him. So the only way to really make him seem not as boring as he is to have it be an exo frame or in some way physically there with us.
If it has to be Rasputin, I want it to either be, because Rasputin has been showing signs of rampancy, although I don't think he'll ever be a full-blown enemy, on his own accord. So if they were to do someone finally actually gets control of Rasputin, and we have to sort of free him from their control, that would be good, but only if we get to see what Saladin talks about. He talks about frames, constructs, and things like that he couldn't even describe. He talks about essentially having nightmare. He doesn't say it, but the context of it is the things that Rasputin sent after the Iron Lords for entering the replication chamber were some of the worst things imaginable. And that's what I would want to see. If it has to be Rasputin, I want to see Rasputin come fully at us as an enemy and try to kill us with everything he has. And then, not just, hey, here's the war set, I'm gonna do nothing now. Really come at us. And
then he be that whole huge enemy and then be done with Rasputin and never talk about it again.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's what I mean. I don't think he'd ever actually be a 100% enemy. And in this scenario, it wouldn't be and then never talk about him again. It would be stop whoever it is, sort of free Rasputin from them. Diva, probably.
Yeah, I think it'd be a lot more interesting to have background on not Rasputin itself, but on the war mines and the development of the war mines. Have it not focusing on dealing with him so much, but have it focusing on maybe it would end up that thing of something's wrong with Rasputin and someone's taking over, and some reason we have to go into the original war mine facility and research that and find something to help us shut down and reboot Rasputin. Just something I want a lot more development into the past of the war mines and how they were developed.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And I feel like that would work just as well if it was the scenario I'm saying where it's someone's taking over Rasputin. So it's well, how do we stop him? We have to go back to his most basic form and stop him in there,
Right. Cool. All we need is permission. I think that, it's another one from Average Joe. Did Age of Triumph bring out anything to signal Oryx is still alive in some form? I didn't see anything. Did you?
Age of Triumph didn't, but Taken King did.
Right. I think it was specifically Age of Triumph, but I didn't see anything in Age of Triumph that did.
Yeah. And to answer the Taken King thing, it's Touch of Malice.
Well,
he's not coming back. It's just he's not entirely dead either. He's living on in Touch of Malice. We embody his philosophy by using Touch of Malice, so we sort of make him live vicariously.
Right. He's dead, but he's not dead.
Yeah. He's very dead and gone. It's just his presence, his philosophy, his memory, his essence, all that spiritual bullshit still exists.
So, think you can kill a god?
Choice.
Sorry, I'm so
You're fine,
exhausted.
dude.
Busy day at work.
Yeah, that's all the questions I had collected, I think, unless anyone in the chat has any other question they want to ask.
I am very excited to go play, though.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna be so much fun. Are you, you gonna meet up with the guys from Dad's Tales? With NFT Rocket Dude and JC Jesse?
I'm sure at some point we're gonna meet up. I don't know to what extent. I know I'm leaving at midnight, and Jesse's leaving at like 8 p.m.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's got somewhere to go right after it, I think.
Oh, does he? I just know he was just sort of like, you know, he's gonna go there for the reveal. There's no real reason beyond that. I sort of agree with that, you know. There really isn't much of a reason after that.
Yeah. Is Chad going? Is Handsome Dragon going? I think he's going too.
Yeah, he's going as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got an invite shortly after I did. Here, I got it. Fucking idiot. That's something that I really hope changes in Destiny 2. Bosses need to not just have this. You should be able to approach a boss. They shouldn't have a fucking... You're dead, ground slam. Like, that's fucking it, you know? It's so dumb.
Right. What kind of, I mean, both of you guys, Guardian and Anon, what kind of lore features, like functionality, do you want to see Bungie implement with Destiny 2? Do you want to see what everyone, well, not everyone, what people have asked for, like a kiosk in game, or do you want it to stay as is?
Stay as is, but at the same time, make a better immersive story, and then keep Grimoire exactly how it is.
Right.
Because
that's an area where I
everyone
disagree.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone says, like, everyone uses this as part of the argument for, like, why Destiny 1, like, failed or wasn't good or any nonsense like that. The story is good, but it's not even in the game. You have to go on their app or on a website outside of the game to read the grimoire and blah 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 blah. And it's like, all right, actually think about it. What is the percentage of people that would have read the grimoire if it was in the game? Who would go in front of their game where there's raids, PvP, even events,
strikes,
like this,
patrols?
Yeah,
I'd rather go on patrols than sitting in front of a kiosk.
Yeah, and fucking read. No, what you wanted was
That's why I'm playing video
story.
games. That's why I'm playing video games, so I don't have to read.
You wanted a better, immersive story with character development and relatable characters and enemies and settings and stuff like that. And, you know, if there was a kiosk in the game, all that would have solved is people wouldn't have had that singular argument. They wouldn't have been able to say the excuse me, they wouldn't have been able to say the story isn't even in the game, meaning the grimoire is not in the game. What they would have said is the story is fucking awful. So, everyone's saying, oh, they need to put the grimoire in the game. Shut the fuck up. You won't read it anyway. I'm someone that does read it. It should not. But it's already too late. Either it is or it isn't. I hope Bungie did not take someone and say, okay, well, I need you to code the grimoire into the game and make it easy enough so that with every time that we have to update, it can also be in the game.
Right.
Because, no.
So, and explain for us, your initial reaction to getting that email from Bunjo. Were you shocked? Were you surprised?
Oh my god, I was freaking out. Like, I was bored. So we record on Tuesdays, and on Monday I was bored, and I was like, you know, it'd be funny if I tell everyone in our Discord that I got an invite, and you know, because they just believe me pretty much no matter what I say. Yeah, exactly. Because why not? They just believe me no matter what I say, because there is a chance that I'm being honest for once. So they can't really just say no, and so then they're like, oh my god, that's so cool, and I was like, yeah, but I'm full of shit. Like I didn't keep it going. After I said it and they like bought it, I was like, yeah, but it's not legit. And then the next day, maybe 2 days after, this very, very close after, and I posted that on Twitter as well. So it was like a little embarrassing to actually like sort of be the boy who cried wolf in a way, because I didn't get the email. What I got was a DM saying, hey, can I get your email?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they obviously Bungie doesn't have everyone's email in the fucking world. They have to ask people. So they had to ask for mine, which is fine, because it got me the invite. But so I immediately, I didn't even respond. I didn't even open it. I looked at it in the preview text on like my phone home screen, lock screen.
Oh,
and
wow.
I went right to the Discord and I said, oh my god, guys, you won't fucking believe it. They just asked for my email, and they're like, yeah, bullshit. And I'm like, no, fucking serious this time. And like I screenshotted like it in 3 different ways that they're asking for my email. And I was like, that's so awesome, but I can't go. Like, there's no way I'll be able to actually go. Like, I'm fucking broke.
Right.
And like, I have to like move at the end of the month. I'm broke and I need to find another job. I probably need to find 2 more jobs because I'm sick of my job. Well, I'm not sick of my job. I'm sick of an asshole at my job. And for some god-awful reason, he's not getting fired, so I'll just have to quit so I don't have to deal with him. But,
it's on the other side of another defense line.
And then I was just like, like,
well, if they didn't
this is such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Or actually, this didn't even happen at first, because at first, what had happened was I got the DM on Twitter, and I just freaked out, and I gave him my email, and I waited. And you can hear it from not this week's, but last week's episode. At the end, Dragon makes a comment about it because I was like very anxiously like waiting for an email. I didn't want to just like, because it wasn't necessarily confirmed yet. It was still possible that they weren't going to give me an email, send me an email.
Right.
And I was really hoping for it. Even though internally I was like telling myself like I can't go.
Right.
And then at like 3 in the morning, which I don't know what time zone Justin is in.
Yeah,
Justin Reynolds. But 3 in the morning Eastern, I got an email, and I woke up to the email, and I was like, holy shit, that's so awesome. And like quickly after I got it, I was like, but I can't go. And then quickly after that, I was like, this is my one chance at something. Because like every year, I'll tell everyone on the podcast and anyone that I talk that it comes up in conversation about, like, maybe I can go. Maybe I'll go to GuardianCon next year. I'll go next year. Yeah, I can probably go next year. Right. And every year, I know I'll say that. I'll just say I'll go next year and not go the next year, and say I'll go next year and not go the next year, over and over. And so I got this, and I was like, this is my only real chance at ever going anywhere. Maybe if I started, and I didn't want to, because I really don't like asking for things like that at all. Yeah. I didn't want to, but I was like, it's my only chance to go, and if I don't do everything I can to get there, I will hate myself.
Well, and you know what? And I think it was in less than 20 hours you were going.
Because of very awesome people. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of really awesome people. I remember DMing you on Twitter because I was in a work conference like all day, and then like I messaged you. I went to go donate to it, and it's like it had been filled. I was like, son of a bitch. And I messaged you. I was like, dude, I was gonna hook you up, but I guess you don't need my help.
No. Yeah, because I was just like, I'll make it. I'll tweet it once, and I won't. I'm not gonna like throw it down. I'm not gonna like push it on people. A lot of people retweeted it and liked it and like really helped it get spread out. Like that's probably like one of my most retweeted tweets ever. So like it got a lot of help from the community in both the financial and non-financial way, and I owe it to everyone who liked it, retweeted it, did anything, whatever. No, like that is really awesome. What got me. Yeah. Yeah. And
well, I mean, it just
within 20 hours.
Yeah, it just kind of goes to show the the sincerity and the caliber of people that are really involved and really care in this particular gaming community.
Yeah.
It's good. And like I actually today, one of the military charities that we're doing for our veterans stream next week, on May 20th with the Sundowners, and it's called Stack Up. And I've been involved with them for a little while. I've been helping them out. I'm a part of their sub-community. One of the guys just hit me up on Discord. We went on voice chat, and they are paying for my travel, hotel, and tickets to GuardianCon this year. So, and I had never been.
What?
Yeah, dude. Seriously. Yeah, it just happened this afternoon. So I was like freaking out. I was like, I need clearance from the wife. put a little. Guardian knows all about that. I put a little finesse on it, and yeah, so I'm going to GuardianCon for free this year. So I'm being invited.
That's the type of thing where it's like you have to just tell your wife, like I'm sorry, but I'm.
Well, he was. After I talked to her, and I messaged Dave, the guy with Stack Up. I'm like, yeah, I'm all set. I'm good to go. Let's do this. And he said, oh, awesome. So you got clearance? I was like, yeah. I was like, if she said no, I would have just divorced her. But no, that's just really awesome for you. I was very pleasantly surprised that you got the invite to the D2 reveal. That's really cool.
I was not expecting that at all. And like, I was freaking out because I was like, what did it? Like what got me on the radar for an invite? Because like I knew that there was like some rumors going around that you could like message Justin, and there was a Reddit post where if you wanted to go, you could ask on the Reddit post and like all that stuff. I didn't do it because I was like, I was like, I don't want to ask. I don't want to ask for any of that.
Right.
I don't want to. I don't think I'm good enough to anyway. Like I'm too small.
If it were to happen, was your mindset like, oh, I want it to kind of be organic?
I mean, I guess I was like me and Guardian have like talked about it, like building up before the event was even really an event and it was just a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
I was sort of saying like I really hope after the live stream they're gonna have either a private or a public alpha, and if it's private, I hope that I have made a name for myself enough that I will get an invite to the private alpha.
Right.
And this is sort of the private alpha in a way, and I'm just fucking amazed that I got it. Oh, he's fucking immune.
Is he immune?
Cause I was gonna one bang him. I mean, like not that he's fucking hard, but I like just doing that to bosses. But yeah, like it was the whole experience from getting invited to seeing donations to knowing I'm going to booking my tickets, and now like it's like it's almost a tangible thing. It's less than a week away. I'm just so fucking happy.
It's gonna be great. That's awesome. And
I feel like you're better off flying there than the people who are driving to LA.
I don't know how many people are driving. Like, from where are they driving?
Well, a bunch of people on the West Coast.
California.
Yeah.
So,
because like I know Rocker's driving, but he's 2 hours away.
Yeah, he's real close.
I mean, I feel like if you live in California or like Nevada, you're probably gonna end up driving just because it's.
Oh yeah, Dragon's driving.
I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I've
not that
driven
far.
to LA a couple times, and it is a nightmare, and I would not want to drive through there.
Negative.
Especially into like the middle of the city where Hawthorne is.
Yeah, I'm super excited to meet people. Super excited to go. Just in general, I'm super excited to just. I mean, like people are saying, it's not really a Bungie event; it's an Activision event. But that doesn't mean that Bungie's not gonna. It's not gonna be a Bungie event. You know, it's gonna be Bungie. You know,
right.
Just because Activision is probably like sort of putting it together, doesn't mean that it's not gonna be. It's not gonna have a very Bungie feel to it.
Right.
Like because like they're no matter how many people from Bungie is gonna be there, they're just so like inclusive and friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter who's throwing the party, Bungie's there, you know. So I'm just excited to get to meet people, really.
Right. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh shit, that's a sweet logo.
A Guardian, how did what made you come up with the idea for your new site, seraphimarchive.com?
That's something that it started about a month ago, and it was kind of after Age of Triumph where I did a Reddit post, because I'm a pretty active poster on Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a Reddit post. I was like, let's just like sum up the story up to Age of Triumph, because I started seeing a bit like more comments and more posts about what is the actual story. And so I made a post, and the issue with Reddit is I saw a lot of posts coming up, and they all like after a day they fade away, and it's not really sticky. So anytime anyone wants something, you either have to go back and find that old post, or someone else usually ends up writing up a new thing. And so I started looking into that area, and I didn't really find it. Ishtar Collective kind of has it, but I think they try to err more on the side of caution with telling the stories, and they don't go too much into the actual story of your Guardian. And so that was kind of the idea. It was like, it'd be really nice to just have a site where you can instantly look up, you can just read through all of the lore in one sitting, and not have to go looking through each videos. And then a lot of people like, I want to get into the lore. How do I actually get into the lore? Like, I'm not really sure where to look.
To really kind of understand it.
Yeah, and so the site is supposed to be like first step, where it's like, if you're not really sure, just you can go check this out. You can read the story. You can go see all these links on Instruct Collective and Destiny Tracker. You can find these other guys who talk about the lore. You can follow them on Twitter and find their YouTube accounts and watch all their videos. It's just kind of a first step for learning more about the lore.
Easier than I thought.
Right. It's awesome, you know. I love it. I'm as soon as I saw you went live with it, I looked at it for a while, and it's just, you know, if I don't know for Anon, but I know for me, if I had something like that was a little more straightforward when trying to get into the lore, I know for me, I would have definitely had an easier go at trying to understand, you know, the nuances of, you know, the actual story and the lore behind everything. You know, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, there's kind of the two groups where there's some people where I've gotten a lot of really positive comments where people are like, this has been so awesome because I can just look at it and get into the lore. I know there's some other people where it's a lot more fun if you kind of have that mindset of going through the lore and reading everything and getting the description out and kind of figuring out what's going on. It's kind of a puzzle in itself, which I always found kind of enjoyable with it.
Right.
When I was getting into the lore, a website like that could not have physically existed. So
yeah, it's true. There was basically, it was vanilla Destiny at that point. So.
Right.
And it was like
very
big.
No,
I mean, there was
not enough people doing lore whatsoever.
I mean,
website.
I guess I'm just fortunate for when I came into Destiny, because I came in, you know, after taking King, after year 2. So, you know, it's, you know, there was just so much, and I know I was kind of torn apart, and so, I mean, I just kind of started to kind of understand some of the, like, different aspects of it, like, you know, learning the basic, stuff, you know, the Golden Age, learning about Twilight Gap, learning about the Reef Wars and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I feel like because a lot of that, I mean, if you do look at the website, it would be a 10th, maybe, of what it is right now with all the content.
Right.
If that. And it really wouldn't have been, like, if I had started it in Vanilla Destiny, it would not have been a massive site like it is now. It would have been a lot smaller because we didn't really have that much information back then. We kind of had some of the basic stuff about, like, the Golden Age and collapse, but there was a lot of information we still didn't know that was supplemented as time went on.
Right.
And especially with, like, back then, it was, like there was Mantis, Wallen, I think Gaurdian, and a couple other, like, smaller names. Yeah, Mantis was one of the guys back in Vanilla who did a couple lore videos.
Oh, Terra Mantis.
Yeah, and so there was, like, very few people actually doing lore, talking about it, and a lot of it was just kind of discussion.
Yeah, there was no one. Which is what made it so easy for me.
Yeah, because you started getting into it and doing the posts on Bungie.net that still show up. If you type in a lot of the lore stuff, you'll still find a lot of Anon's posts.
Don't go there.
That's hilarious.
I was not the first to start doing lore on Bungie.net. But if you don't mind, like, a humble brag, I was probably the first best.
Meaning,
like, there was maybe like one or two guys before me.
Meaning, like, you were actually articulate in what you were saying.
Yeah, there was like one or there was
a ton of stuff.
Yeah, that was really what made myself a name for myself. I did like a post. I did like 7 posts in 7 days, and it just sort of made people be like, "Oh, that's the guy that does the lore." And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." I had nothing to do. I got snowed in, and I was super bored, and probably a lot bit drunk. So it's cool.
That a boy.
See, and I like the Bungie forum thing, but I think, like, another reason I kind of put the website is because I can always go back and edit the website. I can always add more and take stuff out. Where with YouTube videos, like, because I feel like for the most part, all the lore we have right now is pretty much YouTube videos. Like, it's just everyone makes YouTube videos, and then there's Instruct Collective. But so as far as like actually telling and going through the lore, like a lot of YouTube videos, you can't really go back and edit or change those. So if you spin off a theory or say one thing and it's proven wrong later, that's still there. But with a website, if further evidence comes forward and I realize something's wrong, I can go back and change that, and that's still a source that can continually be accurate. That won't ever be outdated, hopefully.
Which actually, a very good point of that is one of my old posts was on like Jaren Ward and Dragon Yor, and I made it, and then I made it during the time where it was still plausible that Jaren Ward became Dragon Yor, and that was sort of the point I made. And then the card that came out, Last Word 3 or Thorn 3. The one that was like, yeah, if you're gonna still fight that argument, there's something wrong with you, came out, and then I was like, well, gotta edit that post. So, like, it definitely made it a lot easier. And I didn't really like, I've never really liked YouTube as a format. I mean, like, I do see why people like it, it's just not for me. Like I've tried to do YouTube like video versions of my posts because like it would just be audio, you know, really, when you get down to it. But
I like the audio a little better just because I feel like with YouTube you end up with just like background content that isn't really necessary. Where with an audio file I can put it on and just go about doing other stuff and not worry about anything.
Yeah, that's where I think it's best. And I started to try to do that with SoundCloud. I was actually incorporating other people to do sort of like voice acting. It didn't fall through. I just stopped. I got distracted because that was another thing where I was like trying to do a post a day, which with any form of content creation, lore, news, anything, what fucking ever, if you really want to become noticed really fast, don't stop pumping out content. Like, just keep doing it every fucking day. Like, if you're that dedicated, like, do something every day. Because then people are going to see the first one and they're going to look past it, not really care. And people are going to see the second one and be like, oh, that guy, is this the same thing? And then it's going to be like, oh, it's not the same thing. And then the third day they're going to see it again, fourth and fifth. And like at some point, people are going to be like, okay, well, I need to see what he's fucking doing because he is going nuts right now. And that's what's going to make your name recognized. And that's absolutely what made my name recognized. I mean, yeah, and obviously I'm going to say that my stuff was quality, but, like, on some level, it wasn't. Like, because it came from a very uninformed time, so it is definitely outdated. You know, there are certain things that I'm very happy to have gotten right. And there are other things that it's like, no, I was very wrong. You know, this is what it is.
That's awesome. So for the Destiny Lorecast, I mean, other than having you know, more story to kind of delve into, I mean, are you guys going to be doing anything new and different for Destiny 2?
I'm sure the Fallen will be happy to see us.
I mean, we're already doing new and different things as it is now. We have interviews. We have Rhino from Mulehorn Gaming. He does.
Who's incredible.
I
said, who's incredible.
Yeah. He'd appreciate hearing that. Because, like, Lorecast, we do more. Like, this is the lore, this is in the game, this is the thing, there's nothing exaggerate. Like, well, I mean, like, we might speculate from here and there, but it's like, we're not, like, going super deep into, like, well, this is this and this is that, you know? It's like, it's very connected within the Destiny story. God, sorry, I'm tired, my brain's not really...
You're fine.
Fully functioning. One of the cards written by Seth Dickinson was like word for word similar to a group of monks. And when Seth was asked about if the monks were inspiration, because, like I said, it was like practically word for word, he said he'd never even heard of them.
Huh.
Like, you know, when you're leaving the Destiny universe to try to find connections, it's cool to do that, and I'm sure there are connections, and I'm sure there's inspiration, but you have to be very careful with how far you take that. You know,
right?
Some people like to look at that and then base theories off of that. A very popular one that I've seen was that Skolas comes from the Norse skull, which means, yeah, maybe it is. Because Skull was a wolf, Skolas is the kill of the wolves, you know, that's cool. And if that's as far as you go, awesome. And that's what Rhino does. He's sort of breaking down the inspiration. But then other people go, and Skull had a brother, so Skolas must have a brother, and we're gonna have another Wolves expansion where the brother is coming to get revenge for us killing Skolas. It's like, what? No. Like, what happened? You did something cool, and then you just, like, shat all over it. Why? And so, that's why I think Rhino is a very... I asked him, and I asked him if he'd like to, and I was super happy when he decided, like, yeah, and he's having a good time. He's pumping those out. I feel like a dick, because I'm like, oh, we can't do it every episode. Like, I'd love to, but, like, we're pushing our fucking time limit as it is. You know, I can't be throwing your things on every week on top of other things every week, because now we also have SSJ. Oh my god, I hate his name. Is so complex.
I know.
Goku. I'll just call him Goku. Who is not a doctor. He doesn't have a doctorate. He's going for his master's in psychology. It's not like he's not in psychology 101. He is close enough for me to call him a psychologist and feel like, you know, he knows his shit.
Right.
I met him on Twitter, and I was like, you know, this would be a really cool guy to sort of like make it into a segment. You know, because he was into the lore. He wasn't just like a random psychologist. He was into the lore, and he was also a psychologist. And I was like, I was looking into his thing because he like had a website or some like page that talked about all the things, and he was more in like the social sociology side of psychology. You know, like sort of like group analysis and stuff like that. And I was like, you know, that's fucking awesome. Like, we could have someone like sort of like analyze like character relationships and race. God, sorry. Just sort of like how races act and like sort of like the implications of the race. Like, when you look at the hive, like, what does the tithing system actually say about the society? And stuff like that. Just like neat little things. And, oh shit, what's her name? Huh.
Rakita?
It'd be like Rotka.
Yeah, something like that.
If I'm pronouncing that correctly, Rotka. The Mournful. I've never noticed her before. And he's recently had his first segment, which I thought was really cool.
No, it was.
He talked about one of my favorite experiments, where a man in a lab coat tells you to administer increasingly painful electric shocks to a patient, but doesn't say why. He doesn't give any explanation, and how people just sort of like, look at this man in a lab coat, and he's clearly a doctor, and he's an authoritative figure, and you listen to him. It's causing someone pain for an unknown reason, but you just listen to him, because that's what you do. He's a man in a lab coat. He's the boss. And sort of like, that's sort of what the speaker is. He's the man in the lab coat, and he's telling us to go on missions. So we're just like, yeah, that's what you do. He's just telling us. So it was sort of like an Osiris psychology. Like if Osiris was teaching psychology and he was trying to make it relatable for why he's questioning the speaker, he would sort of say that. And I really really like where that's going, and there's other things I've been thinking about incorporating. And depending on what Destiny 2 offers us, there's very likely to be more things. Like, Destiny 1 is a very beautiful landscape, and it is very cool, and I feel like it just falls short of being enough to be a segment where, like, we could have someone essentially talk about the environments, you know, and stuff like that, where it's like, maybe Destiny 2 will have larger, more defined environments where that type of segment would work.
Right.
But so far, I think it's very cool, but I just don't think it's enough.
Maybe an offer to the other devils, a show of power. You know,
that's cool. Well, you know who I enjoy when you have on doing guest spots is I mean, obviously Guardian, but Beer Grizzly. I'm also biased because I like my Dead Orbit boys.
Yeah, he's a great guest to have on. He's a really smart guy. Like I love all the guests that we've had on. Like everyone has always had like a unique thing to offer. You know, it's just it comes from. Like, that was something that we really wanted when making it. We wanted to have every unique opinion that we could have, like, essentially possible. And that's sort of what we're getting. Like, Pete-tron and Babe-tron came on.
Yeah.
And, like, by like, their own admission, they are not really lore people. And Pete said something that just sort of made me stop. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, you know, and like that... Like that's sort of like what we get. Like maybe there's not like an exact moment of like oh shit with every guest, but every guest does make me, and I hope make the listeners think about lore in a different way. Because that's what we want. We want it to encourage thinking above all else. You know.
Right on.
Let me get him. There we go. I got him. And another guest, I gotta fucking talk to him. I keep forgetting to get back in touch with him. Another guest that I wanted to have on is a guy I actually met through Guardian. He's like an official Sherpa from like Reddit Sherpa pages or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And so one of the I ran a couple raids with him, and he's a super cool guy. I actually ran 5 raids with him in one day.
Oh wow.
And sort of just having him on the team as sort of like the leader, it really shows that why he's a Sherpa. He knows the raids inside and out, like the mechanics of them. Even so much that King's Fall, with a mostly ragtag group, just sort of like random people, we did not wipe on Oryx.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like that's sort of
especially
unheard of.
For like a smorgasbord of just randos.
Yeah, like obviously everyone, people for the most part knew each other. It wasn't entirely random, but it wasn't like the core team. Like a core team doing that, it's like, yeah, you fucking should. You know each other. But mostly randoms doing that, that's fucking crazy. And he's someone that we wanted to have on, and I was talking to him about it. I was like, it'd be really awesome to have you on for like a King's Fall episode where you can talk about the mechanics, like what's actually being done in the game, and then we can sort of say, why that's being done, because King's Fall is super mechanic heavy, but it's also super lore heavy, where it's actual. Unlike Vault of Glass, where we sort of have to guess because it came from that era of year one that was all messy and confusing.
Mm-hmm.
King's Fall came from the very friendly, everything's actually explained to us era.
Right.
Like when you get to the basilica or totems and you see the acolytes praying in front of the door, they're trying to challenge Oryx. They are there for the same purpose you are, like they're on their mission. They're trying to be seen as worthy by the war priest, just as we are. Ah, fuck, I was gonna dip out. Just as we are, and it's the same thing. And I just thought that'd be a very unique opportunity to have that perspective on for an episode.
Right on. Awesome. Well, all right. Well, might go ahead and kind of wrap this up. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
This is a lot of fun. We'll do it again.
Yeah, it's super fun. I'm just super tired.
I know. Thanks for joining us, Guardian. Welcome. Come back next time too. And like I said, we're doing this kind of for Streamers for Sin, for kids' health as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the feed. Thanks everyone for hanging out with us and for the questions.
Thanks everybody. It was a blast.
Check out seraphimarchive.com and make sure you subscribe to the Destiny Lorecast on iTunes. Thanks guys. And take it easy.